Hey everyone, you are watching Kaushal BaatCheet. Welcome to the sixth episode of our first series, How Asking Questions Rightly Matters. Like the past episodes, today we have another magnetic personality as our special guest for you, who is building the future with conversational AI. His way of internalizing various ideas is really inspiring. And you know what? He has completed his MBA from abroad and came back to India to do something remarkable in the field of AI, that is artificial intelligence. He is none of us, the AI strategist, Mr. Aarsh Srivastava, the co-founder of Gravitas AI. And I hope this episode will be very much helpful for you to build the habit of asking questions rightly. Okay, so let's welcome Mr. Ars to this episode. So welcome Ars, welcome to Kaushal BaatCheet. So in this
Thanks.
we'll discuss about the importance of questioning so that it will be helpful for our students. Okay. So how are
Yeah,
you?
thanks, Santanu. Thanks for having me here.
Okay. So how is everything going on your side, Ars?
Yeah, it's going great. I think the weather is fine in UK, especially the summer times is really good.
Hmm.
So really enjoying the weather, and apart from that, a lot of work is there, of course.
Yes.
So being engrossed in that and trying to squeeze out some time out of it, so that we can work and ask the questions within for ourselves to be in solace and peace.
So
Yeah.
definitely we will discuss about your professional journey that you are currently holding. Fine. But before that, actually, we want to discuss about your childhood and how was that actually? We need to know. Means, please, can you say?
All right. Okay. So I'll walk you through my life basically. So I was born and brought up in the northeast, north. So basically Bihar and Jharkhand area, and I did my schooling from there. And thereafter, I've done my engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology as a chemical engineer, and also worked as research interns at various prestigious institutions like National Chemical Laboratory. Thereafter, I joined Infosys as a developer and also led some projects over there. Post that, my education, second level of education, which happened at Great Lakes Institute of Management, India, and also I've done an MBA from France. So the areas of study were mostly into operations, analytics, advanced analytics, that is like machine learning sites, and yeah, so that was about the academics. Apart from that, I've been mostly into IT for last 10 to 12 years, and I've been project managing, program managing, delivery managing, and thereafter started my own startup, which is Gravitas AI. And Gravitas AI is AI based startup which focuses primarily on conversational AI. So it's not only about conversational AI, but conversational AI powered with a lot of automation. So we consider at Gravitas AI into three strands. One is conversational AI, which comes to the fore. So trying to connect the 360-degree experience through all digital touch points with conversational AI, powered with a lot of automation. And at the end, the augmentation, which is about like understanding the insights, predicting for future, etc. So this is what I'm doing right now in a nutshell. And right now, as being a co-founder, I'm into all shoes. So
Yeah.
be it marketing skills, and you can understand that. Yeah.
We'll discuss more about your Gravitas AI project and how you are helping the generation by with this project. So before that, actually, us actually students are asking so many questions very randomly. Fine, when they are in early childhood, when they are in toddler stage, fine. But
Mhm.
actually, that kind of levels, that kind of questions actually gradually diminishes. Okay, when they grow
Mm.
older. Okay. So, how do you feel about that? And do you have experience with that kind of regression in your life? Means, in some point of time, actually, you were asking so many questions, and that gradually diminishes. Do you feel that kind of things in your life?
I think it's quite true. I'm not sure about others, but definitely there was a uptrend, downtrend, and uptrend which I have experienced. And not sure about the exact reasons for that, but since childhood I was a very inquisitive child. So like, and my mother and father were encouraged a lot in terms of asking questions. They were very patient in terms of answering all my questions. So, and even if like if I was traveling around and going around, so I had a lot of questions for the outsider people as well.
Okay.
So, and I'm very thankful to them that they answered a lot. And so it was a constant questioning thing for me, very inquisitiveness in the early childhood.
Yeah.
Thereafter, I think there was a phase that it was a bit lull, but I think slowly I picked up with the right mentorship from my parents, grandparents, that you need to ask the questions and the right questions, because that will help you take things forward, understand things better, and probably think about like the future.
Exactly.
So basically, it helped me in different spheres of life, not only my academics education, but also in my personal life. Because asking questions, asking the right questions at the right time is very important. Because if you lose that opportunity at one time, then there is definitely a very big gap which comes into place. So yeah, to answer your question, definitely I have experienced a bit of lull in between, but I think I was mentored well by my parents that I picked it up. And I think I've been an inquisitive child in my classrooms and thereafter in my workplace. And still, I let a lot ask a lot of questions to a lot of people, because not only ask a lot of questions, but I also promote asking a lot of questions as I mentor a lot of college students,
Okay.
MBA students in India and engineering students in India. So I try to push them to that area where they feel comfortable to ask questions. Questioning is an art. It's not only about like just asking questions, but you have to ask the right questions, have the confidence to ask the questions, and then get answers for that. So like getting them into that space where they feel comfortable enough to talk to me, ask questions, and ask others as well is very important.
Exactly. So, Ars, actually, where you have completed your schooling, particularly,
So where did I complete my schooling,
where
right?
you have completed your schooling period.
Okay, so it was like my plus twos were in 2004. So I finished in 2004 from DAV schools.
That is in India, specifically, I think.
Yeah, that was it. All my whole education has been in India, apart from the MBA, which I did in France.
Okay.
So yeah, prior to that, everything was in India.
Okay. You were actually said one thing very rightly, ki actually asking questions in the right way, in the right time is very important. Fine. So you were made for the quality of asking questions matters. Okay. So the point here is that actually the we can say that the quality of asking questions really matters. But the thing is that students sometimes want, means they can get the things that quality of asking questions is overrated. Fine. They stop asking the questions because of that, whether my question is right or wrong, whether my question is being judged or not. Fine. They have some kind of fear in their mind. Fine. They have some kind of fear to being judged. Okay.
Hmm.
So quality of asking questions is really overrated in some period of things. Okay. So what do you think about that? Means is this the reason to pause to get the procrastination of asking questions by the students? Yeah, is there something else do you feel about what you have felt in your school time?
So as I said, there has to be a comfortable area where the person who is supposed to ask the questions should be in,
Mhm.
and that comfort area has to be provided by the mentor.
Okay.
So as I pointed out to my parents, so they were constantly in that frame of mind that okay, they were making me comfortable to ask questions. So
Right.
that was a real help for me. Similarly, I'm sure, and I've seen people as well, and I've like experienced throughout my life. You're right in saying that people have inhibitions in asking questions. Whether my question is right, whether my question is wrong, what will people think about it? Or people may think that he's asking too many questions. Maybe he wants to gather the spotlight or limelight, he or she. So that those are all kind of innovations are between all of us. I think it's if I say that I didn't have it or someone else didn't have it, it's wrong to say that, because we are all humans, we are wired the same way. So It is definitely there, but we need to like overcome that. And for overcoming that, there can be two things. One, guiding yourself, thinking about yourself, maybe putting up some time aside about yourself, what it means to you, how it will help you in future, and at the same time, how it is benefiting the others as well. Because if I'm asking a question, say if I'm in a class of 40, I'm asking a question, it's not only benefiting me, other people have the same sort of questions, but they are not answering asking because of inhibitions. So it's also helping them as well. So you're not doing only good for you, but also good for others as well. So understanding that space is very important. The second point is the mentor itself, the teacher, the professor, the lecturer, or the mentor. They have to be in that space that they understands a student psychologically, and they can also push them to that space that okay, it's okay to ask questions. Okay, so and that depends to a lot on the like mentor, how they are behaving and how they're carrying forward the lectures, or how they are carrying forward a particular session. Because if you make people in a comfortable position to talk to us, then
Yeah,
people will be talking, and if they are talking, they will start asking questions, and slowly the flow begins. So that is how I think these two factors are very important. One, the person himself has to groom himself and understand the benefits, and understand that he's doing a benefit for the larger part of the society as well. And the second is the mentor who has to take care of it.
exactly. One point you have very, very well noted means the point is that asking questions is not a thing that we need to do. Fine. Asking question is an art. Okay. And both the stakeholder need to know about the importance of the asking questions as students as well as teachers. Okay. And one thing is very noted here कि actually teachers should know the art of questioning. Okay, how to
Mhm.
ask the question, how to know the psychology of the students, that matters. Fine. So one thing is here actually why teachers are not asking thoughtful questioning. Okay, they are randomly asking fact questions, remember type of questions. And you know Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, in Bloom's taxonomy, Bloom actually suggested that the teachers, maximum teachers, okay, around it varies from 70% to 90%. Fine. So maximum teachers are asking about the fact questions, fact oriented questions. And they are asking to judge, to assess whether the student has studied the last chapter or not. Fine. This is the
Mhm.
assessment type of questions. So
Yeah.
why students are not promoting, why teachers are not promoting actually the thoughtful questioning, and the maximum teachers are why they are not promoting? What do you feel about that? Means how was the different between Indian system of education that you have experienced? Okay, and what you have see the difference between the France education, means what kind of things actually you have connected there?
Okay, so I'll answer. There are two parts to the question. First, I answer the first one. So, why they are not promoting is it's with all due respect to all teachers, professors, lecturers, there might be a lack of initiative which is there. So a teacher needs to, or lecturer or professor or any educator, they need to feel that they are providing something to someone. And the feeling is it's surreal when I do mentor a lot of students, and if they get to the next level, it really makes me feel very happy. So it's not about just doing your job. So for example, if I'm providing an internship at Gravitas AI, it's not only about getting work from interns, but at the same time coaching and mentoring them to so that they are moving ahead in their lives. So even if you, be it interns, be it your colleagues, be it like people who are working with you, are subordinates to you, etc. So mentor, a senior, a professor, a lecturer, everyone has to understand that there's a larger goal which has to be achieved, and they need to feel connected with the people. So once you start connected with the larger goal, that okay, whoever I am like mentoring, they need to propel further, they need to progress further. For then that feeling will start kicking automatically, so that you start providing the right set of things, you start providing the right set of questions. Usually what happens, and it might be that case, that usually what I think is that it's more of a like a job thing, that I need to go and deliver this particular thing, and thereafter I'll just provide a certain set of questions and my job is done. Certain set of questions will come in the exams, and then my job is done. So I'm not like blaming people are doing it, but I think probably it's a culture which needs to shift, that we need to move towards more experiential learning. and understanding that apart from like the course materials and other learnings, there's also a wide space which is vacant, which is about soft skills and understanding the things which are important in your life. So these skill sets also need to be provided.
Exactly.
When all of this starts coming together, then definitely questioning will start from the teachers itself.
Yeah,
So
yes.
I see that particular aspect, that it's more of a BAU, business as usual type of activity, like a job thing which is coming in. But the educator needs to understand that they are more than the job thing. They are larger than the life. They are providing something to the society. They're creating assets for the society. So if that feeling is there in an educator, definitely they'll go full throttle to ask the questions.
Nice.
The second part of your question was about Indian system and the France system. One thing I like to tell you, that in my experience, I think, and maybe I'm not sure like what others have experienced, but it was almost the same. The kind of mentoring which I got at my MBA school in India and MBA school in France, I think it was at par. Because in India as well, like we were like pushed. As I told you, that we need to be pushed, and certain things which you start taking up in your life, you also learn from your gurus. So whatever I got in my life, I think I'm taking that forward. So I was very fortunate that I had those people who were mentoring me, or my friends and colleagues, that they were pushing us to that level, that okay, you need to speak, you need to speak up, you need to discuss, you need to not just sit silently in the class, but rather have a purposeful discussion. And they were explaining to us like what was the actual purpose of the conversation. So that was really benefiting us. So like in MBA schools, like classes of marketing, classes of finance, everyone like had that vision, so that we don't just learn the concepts, how we're going to implement it and
Okay.
what are the benefits of it, and how we had classes about business communications, talking about things, talking about like topics, presenting yourself, etc.
Yeah.
But not only that class, but apart from that, all other classes were like the same. Like we were thirsted to like get into that position and made very comfortable
Okay.
environment, very friendly environment.
Okay.
And the same thing I experienced in France as well. It was, I think, for my experience, it was the same. Also at Manipal Institute of Technology, I think the same sort of like professors I've met. Though obviously they are like different people as well who you meet in your life, but you take good things from like what you learn from different stages of your life. So I think it was almost a similar sort of thing. Plus, there's this more connect. There's a more connect, a personal connect as well, which you start developing with teachers when you
Exactly.
getting A's. They also getting A's.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I think it's at par. It's not all about like different countries, but the education which the mentor is providing. I think it goes down more to the culture and the mentorship.
Yeah. That's the nice point actually. Ask actually asking questions is more about a culture that need to be culture in a classroom environment. Fine. So classroom questioning, the problem of classroom questioning is basically diversified. Fine. The problems are from students as well as teachers. First of all, teacher need to culture the scenario, culture the environment, so that student will be promoted. Fine. And it is seen that, and also research experienced that students are not asking questions due to various reasons. Okay. Due to the dominance of teacher, due to the feeling of being judged. Fine. Due to the feeling of means so that they are not getting the safety environment, they're not getting the means the environment that is promoting to ask questions. Okay. And there is some kind of lack of appreciation too. Okay. So so many factors are there which are affecting the students to not to ask questions. Okay. So as a teacher, how can we start the culture? Suppose there is a classroom. Okay. So in that classroom, so many students are there who are not aware of asking questions, who are not aware of the importance of asking questions in their life. Okay. So how can we start building that culture? So that they can get inspired, they can get the motivation to ask questions. Okay. And also they can start from the ground zero level. Ask the factual questions, ask the remember type of question. Then they can gradually upgrade their type of questions. So how can we first of all inspire the teacher to ask questions? how can we start the art of asking questions? What do you think as a mentor?
Yeah, so I think I'll take a leaf out of your question itself. So there was a point about like motivation or enthusiasm, etc.
Hmm.
So like things which are a deterrent for not asking questions. So out of that, there's one thing which is like promoting the culture and promoting having the enthusiasm, etc. So that is the point which I will take out of your question itself, and that is something which needs to be promoted. So like getting them into first the safe space. So as a teacher, a lecturer, a moderator, or a mentor has to get the mentee in the right space first. They need to make them comfortable. So first point is that if they are comfortable enough to talk or to discuss basic things, then they will be in a space that they start thinking about asking questions. Then the it is important for the mentor to like groom people to how to ask questions as well. So in the lectures itself, there can be like provisions where like if you are stating about a particular concept, you ask us you like it's all about guiding and coaching people. So you ask that type of questions, or probably do us a bit of role play, get some people in. So we slowly move into the practical sides of it. Experiential learning is that is what is important. So maybe in your in your lecture, you can start working out like how to ask the question and then probably answer and then get some people inside and probably some role plays, etc., about different roles who are a part of who can be a part of the lecture and take that lecture
Yeah,
forward.
yeah,
That is participative education. And at the same time, it will be also helpful for students because if they see there's always a barrier between like two uh, stakeholders when they come across. There's a community which is student community.
yeah,
There's one person who's lecturer who's standing above and talk. So the gap is bridged, and how will it get bridged when the communication is getting closer? So that we need to understand because there's a gap in age, there's a gap in like experience, there's a
yeah,
gap. People are looking forward to that person. So that person has to step down a bit and get to that particular level and start like engaging in the level that okay, it has to be a friendly conversation first of all, and then making people understand that it's okay to ask questions. For that, I think it's more about like getting people out of that particular group only to start it, and then probably as I said, a role play initially about some concept that will be great. Slowly is what will happen in that case, that student community will somehow like enjoy it a bit. Initially there might be inhibitions about it, definitely, but then they start getting engaged because their peers are there and they're
exactly.
asking questions. So
Yeah,
that starts kicking up some sort of thirst in them as well. Okay, sometime maybe I can do that as well for some people. And then there will be laggards as well in the back end who will not like to do that. So
getting
slowly you start propelling it. So lecture by lecture, you start engaging more people and trying to understand. It's also very important not to focus on the play or to focus on the experiential learning part, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing a training, a lab, or a play, etc. At the same time, focus on that part which is being staged, but also focus on the other side. Then try to understand who are getting more interested. Then you can pick and choose people who can come next, and slowly that caravan can move forward. So I think that is the way which is very important for like professors, lecturers, mentors to take this thing forward. We need to get to the practical ways of talking and practical ways of like making people understand.
yeah, yeah, getting. So the thing is here that okay, are actually so many things are there that we need to consider to build that kind of culture. Okay, means we need to various aspect for the teachers as well as various aspect for the students. Okay. So how now we will shift our interest towards your means professional journey, means how you are developing your professional journey by questioning, means how you get some kind of inquisitiveness in that culture. Please means share your professional what you are doing now. Okay, Gravitas AI that you have introduced. So what kind of things actually you are doing now by Gravitas AI?
So is it more about like what things we're doing at Gravitas, or is it about like what things we're doing
Please
to improve?
introduce first what you are doing in Gravitas
All
AI.
right.
Okay, then we will discuss about how you are developing that kind of culture. Fine.
Okay, all right. So Gravitas AI, as I said, it's a conversational AI company, and we are based out of London, and we have got also presence in
Okay,
India.
please can you please share your means operation okay that you are doing in Gravitas AI so that students can understand. Okay, basically. So what you
Yeah.
are doing exactly?
So we built conversational AI chatbots. So chatbot is something, it's not, we don't just build the like basic level of bots like button driven bots or basic FAQ bots,
Okay.
but we are into highly conversational and ethical AI solutions, wherein we put a lot of emphasis on user research, SME research, and the right tone of voice, right branding, etc., so that the chatbot which is coming up is very conversational. We also focus on things which are very user focused. So each and everything, we are not just developing chatbots for anything, but we are highly focused on sectors.
Okay.
So, for example, if there's a chatbot for healthcare sector, we're also going a level down. For example, we'll
Mm.
totally focus on ophthalmology. We're totally focused on dental. Similarly, we're totally focusing on dermat, etc. In other sectors as well, we have segregated things, and we have got use cases for like different questions, different type of pain points.
Yeah.
Because see, having a chatbot is a good thing. It's definitely a fancy thing which everyone is liking. But if the chatbot is solving the real purpose, that is what is important. So we focus on use case driven pain points so that we can resolve that and develop a lot of user journeys around that. And basically, the whole chatbot answers the full user journey. So it's an end-to-end solution for a particular industry.
Okay. Great, great. So how is difference from the other solutions? Your solution, how your solution is different from the other solutions? As you have
Yeah.
mentioned,
So.
actually it is customized, user based. Okay. So how
Mhm.
is this difference? Please share one difference.
So that is first of the difference is that we are not developing a chatbot platform that okay, you just get some chatbot out of it, buy a subscription, and you
Mm,
can build up a
mm,
basic chatbot, etc. We are solving the problem which is in hand.
okay.
So it's a lot of research which we are doing. We are focusing on a particular industry and the sub industry of that. We are
Okay.
trying to understand the full journey of that, and basis that we are developing solutions which can cater to that industry.
Okay.
So it's not about developing or giving you chatbots or technology, but actually solving the real use case, which is there existent and which is being faced by, which is a problem being faced by people. So that is one differentiator because we're very focused on sectors. We're not just generalizing conversations.
Getting, getting.
The second thing, we invest a lot in R&D. Everyone does in a lot of investment in R&D, but our algorithms are like really great. We have researched our own algorithm for machine learning, which is paraphrasing algorithm, and that has been trained on about 400 million plus rows of data.
Okay.
So that helps in effectively paraphrasing and contextualizing. So a real chatbot is that which can understand you and not only just answer you. So basically, answering things is uh, you can train a bot, you can get some answers out of it. But if I am asking a question in a different way, you will ask in a different way. Someone else will ask that same question in a different way.
Getting.
Chatbot, the real augmentation of human intelligence is there when the chatbot is able to understand the different types of questions, the context of the question, and then based on the meaning of the question, answers start answering that. So we are getting into that space.
Mm, mm.
Plus, it's also language optimized, and we do train the chatbot in different languages. About
That's
15
what I
plus.
am going to ask. Okay. Is it language customized here now?
Yes, yes, it's very language customized. We have got 15 plus Indian regional languages, 80 plus global languages support.
Great.
And also we are working on the vernacular languages, all the type of languages we generally use in general
Nice. Nice.
day-to-day life. For example, typing in English but writing in Hindi in WhatsApp. So that is a very large set of population. That is what I said. We are focusing on the users. Everything is user driven. We are keeping user at the center of the solution.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great, great. So, as means how you are developing the system. So many things you are doing. Okay, by developing that kind of conversational AI. Okay, so what are the leading questions actually you were used for the teams for the system? Share some of the leading questions that were helping you so much. Okay, means there are certainly there are so many questions that is leading us. Okay, okay. So is there any kind of question that you remember that you can remember that kind of questions actually lead you towards the development of anything?
Yeah, so basically, say it all depends on the subject matter. So
Mhm.
if you're doing a healthcare chatbot, you need to develop a healthcare content
Ah,
basis that you just
yes.
need to do the cognitive curation and go on to that. If you're developing something for the BFSI industry, it has to be specific for that.
Yeah.
One thing which is very important and not being taken care of. So that is about ethical use of AI.
Okay.
So they ask, so they are questions which people need answer on. But as humans, we also understand that what we don't need to answer.
mm,
or what is something which is inappropriate, or something which can be bypassed or should be bypassed. Okay, so we are talking about artificial intelligence. It's not just only about answering questions. So AI is like a perception of our senses. So if a human, as a human, I can think and understand like what I should answer, what I should not, what I
yeah,
should
yeah,
ask. The system which I'm trying to develop should also be intelligent enough to understand that. So it's very important. That is the area of questions which I think is most important, because you can
understood.
always deliver what people need. You can do research, you can try and understand, because then you what you do in the whole product design, you develop a user persona or different user personas, and basis the personas, you try to understand what are the pain points of those personas and try to answer that. But understanding what is outside that user persona, the
Okay.
whole universe, outside the samples, the set which you are focusing on, is very important, because a lot of bias will creep in. Because
Mm,
see,
mm,
we are humans, we will be developing basis our brains, what we have
yeah,
seen in life, what we're experiencing.
yeah.
So developers, analysts, project managers will think about it, they'll develop the solution in the best possible way, but still there will be biases related to the not the use case, outside the use case. Because use case you're already focusing on, you're taking input from a lot of people. Maybe every project we do hundreds of interviews, try and understand the viewpoints of different people. For example, if you're doing a hospital case, we will interview tens of doctors, optometrists,
Mm,
lab technicians, everyone. Try to understand their viewpoints, and basis that we develop the solution. But what we're not doing, and also the patients, what we're not doing, what we're not doing is trying to understand the outside ambience, like
okay.
people who are outside of that ecosystem. So
Mm,
some people who also get to that and get to chatbot and try to get answers from the chatbot, it might not be, it may be good for one set of community and may not be good for one other set of community. There might be something which someone else feels offensive about. Okay, so we need to take care of all these things as well, and that is how bias handling needs to be done properly. So bias
that's
handling is the
nice.
most important area which I think in the chatbot journey.
So, as yeah, means as I have understood from your experience that for developing anything, that kind of conversational AI, that kind of project, actually we need to master at questioning. Okay, means we need to consider so many kind of questions. We have to tackle so many kind of questions. Okay, so it is very well known कि actually to developing something greatly we need
Mm.
some kind of higher level of questions. Okay, so as how questioning helps you in your personal life, if you can remember, means how is it helping you?
Yeah. So that's a very great question. So it definitely helps me a lot in my personal life, because see, whether it's your work area or your personal life, we are always dealing with people, and there will be different mindsets, there will be different opinions,
Yeah.
there'll be different discussions, and the education, the experiences in life. So everyone has got an opinion. Okay, so if we create an atmosphere wherein like we are able to like ask the right questions to the right people, or like not even like ask the questions in the with different people, that is very important. I think that kind of culture helps me a lot, and at my family helps me a lot. That I can ask the question to anyone inside. Also, at the same time, my friend circle, etc., is the same. So basically, in my personal life as well. So understanding, because if I'm not asking questions, I'm not able to get to know them.
Okay.
Because as lives are progressing, so we know our friends and family definitely, but as lives are progressing, everyone's getting into their own phase. For example, myself only. So if I am at one stage I was a student, thereafter I got into something else, now I'm into something else, now I'm co-founding something, and at the same time the experience and the things which I know is growing. So definitely, if someone wants to benefit from me, they need to ask questions to me. Similarly, other people are also growing. So the whole bandwagon is moving. So we
Yeah.
need to understand that.
Yeah.
So asking the questions to different people about different things is not a problem. So even say, for example, I'm doing something, maybe I'm doing something good in one industry. Someone else is doing something good in other industry, or maybe in their personal lives, or
Hmm.
maybe they're doing things right in something which is creating more happy ecosystem around them. So it's not a problem. It should not be a problem to ask those questions. Also, like even for like normal works, you can't be a master of everything. Yeah, everyone needs to understand that. We can only like understand about certain things. That's like we can't rule everything, right? So you need to ask the right people about the right things. So we understanding like what sort of questions need to be asked to whom, and at the same time like asking those questions without hesitation definitely helps me a lot. For example, if I'm doing something related to a compliance or regulation, maybe I'll ask the concerned person who's doing work in that area, or maybe just go to my father and ask, okay, how it was done, how it is to be done. Okay,
Yeah,
for example, if you're buying a house, then you need to understand the whole process, right? Initially, when you're doing it for the first time,
yeah,
then you need to know it, right? So you need to go to your father or mother and just ask, okay, kaise kiya hai? So that is very important. So these things like asking questions to your seniors, to your juniors, understanding like what sort of question they will be helpful in, and asking it without hesitation definitely helps me a lot. I ask a lot of questions still.
nice.
I irritate people with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's basically, as I have understood for our students, actually asking questions builds the empathy. Okay, and it builds a humbleness. Okay, within
Yes.
us. Okay, so definitely these are the factors, some kind of factor: humbleness, empathy. Okay, social connections. These are the some kind of things actually which builds us. Okay, which builds our network. So very helpful. So as lastly but not at least, we need to know means for developing the culture of classrooms. Okay, for developing the questioning culture, what are the suggestion as a mentor, okay, for our students to develop that kind of habit of building the questions, habit of asking something, okay, habit of standing out and ask something to the teacher, okay. So building that kind of courage, what kind of suggestion actually as a mentor you will give at least three suggestions, okay, out of from your experience, what kind of
Mm.
things you can do?
All right. Okay. So I think one is that keep some time for yourself. Think about yourself, how you want to progress and proceed in your journey. So that will give you like the students a lot of answers about like what they should do. And definitely when they start thinking about, they'll have questions because it's a it's a game which you're playing with your mind. You're training your brain to get to more questions with different people. For that, you need to first ask questions yourself. So give yourself time, try to understand where you want to head to. Then in that case, what will happen? You start asking questions yourself. Once you get into that mode, then you will get more questions out of it, which you will not be able to get answers to. Then you start searching for people who can answer this question,
Okay,
and that will promote that learning. That is one thing. The second thing is that leave inhibitions, because inhibitions lead you nowhere.
okay,
Because if you are like not asking questions in the right time, so basically there's a like a 5 step framework: how, what, where, when, and why. Okay, so try to get answers for these 5 questions for everything. If you're not getting answers for these 5 things, definitely go for a question for the type of thing which you're not. So asking the question, just asking like what it is, why it has to be done, where it needs to be done, how it will be done, and when it will be done. So
okay,
these 5 things are very important because these 5 things summarize everything. Like for everything, it is a summary of everything. So anything which you need to do, if you answer these 5 questions, you got a strategic level view or a holistic view of things.
yeah,
Now you start drilling it down, and when you start drilling it down, you get more questions. So it's all about building a framework of questions to solve your problem,
great.
right? That is the second thing. And the third thing is that also think that you are doing a larger benefit. It's
Okay.
not only about you. When we are in a herd or a community, the it's a contribution to the community as well, because as I said previously, asking question is an art, asking question is a courage, and asking question is grace for someone else, because someone else might not be thinking in that way. They will not ask the questions and they will lose out on it. So if you're asking that question, it might be the same question which other 30 people are trying to ask, but they're not asking it. Then you are definitely helping them.
Right.
So like think about yourself, follow the 5 step process, and think you're doing the larger benefit to the community.
Nice, nice suggestion as actually means that the three suggestions are such powerful thing for our students. Okay, first think about yourself. Okay, that builds the self analyzation, self kind of self knowing the things. Okay, fine. Self realization plays a very important role for a student. Okay. Second thing that the method of 5W technique. what, how, why, fine, when, and where. So that kind of technique actually will help the students to understand the deeper connections of the things. Okay, fine.
Mhm.
Actually, who will do, for what I will do. So many things are connected there. And the third benefit is much more larger than these two. Actually, I am doing for our the larger than the life things. Okay, so nice things I heard. Okay, so as before ending the meeting, okay, we need to discuss about the importance of this kind of discussions. Okay, so this discussion will help our students to understand the things. Okay, how experts are using the questions. Okay, how
Mhm.
experts are using the importance of questions. Okay, so for the students who have not understood the things, okay, who have not understood the meaning of the questioning, so for that student, what is the habit, means atomic habit, that you can suggest? Okay, so that they can practice from the day one, very atomic small habit. Okay, what you can suggest?
Meditate. One word answer. Start meditating. You will automatically get bored and get start getting a lot of questions. Okay,
Okay.
so that will definitely help you get into that frame of mind. Okay, and when you meditate with a specific goal in the mind. So meditation is not only about just being blank. It's also something which you can focus on. Thinking about something is also meditation. Okay, it's a kind of meditation. So if you have some problem in hand, just lay down, think about it. You'll get peace. The second thing is you'll get a lot of questions. Third, you will get some answers. Fourth, you will understand what answers you don't have. Okay,
Nice.
and then you start going ahead with those questions for different people. So the first step of the journey is always charity begins at home. So you need to start yourself. Just think about like whether it's beneficial for you, not beneficial for you. Everyone takes their own course of their life.
Yeah.
If someone thinks that, okay, I'm not into questioning, it's fine, don't do it, that's okay, it's totally up to you. But there are larger benefits of questioning. There are very like supreme benefits of questioning. Questioning takes you further ahead. Questioning helps other people. Questioning is something which is good for your life and your work life and your family life. Everything is like related to questions. Unless we ask questions, we don't get the knowledge. Okay, and I'm not saying the knowledge about like education only. Knowledge is like is varied, is diverse. It can be education, it can be your personal life behaviors, personal attributes, or about something else, something very great. So you need to think about all these things and just start thinking about like whether the art of questioning or the questioning scheme or the questioning framework, does that help me? Is it helping me? Try it out once, and if that helps you, then go ahead with it. I'm sure it will help.
Nice, yeah. Okay. So that the last suggestion actually I really like that meditation. So that will start your questioning. Okay, that will start your intuition. Great, great. So thank you, us. So many thanks for you for this conversation. Hope this conversation will help our students to understand the deeper meanings of questioning and how it is helpful for their life to practice that kind of habit. Thank you so much for this kind of discussions.
Thanks, Shantanu. Thanks for having me here. Lovely to chat with you.